Welcome to Jerry's Fish Room.
All right, guys. So, welcome back to Jerry's Fish Room. Thank you so much for joining me. This is an exciting day today for me, as I will be moving these guys right here into their new 180-gallon home. But to start, I wanted to give you just a video, a little bit about some of the preliminary stuff that I'd done, from moving a couple of tanks around, to getting these guys here, and then going out, picking out some decor, some rocks from one of the local places that's here, to give you guys some ideas to look for, because I know sometimes getting decor, rocks, that type of stuff, you buy it through an aquarium store, is real expensive. And then also getting the tank prepped up, holes cut where they need to be cut, and background squared away. And then next week, I'll bring you the whole video of the actual steps that I took to get these fish, my Africans, in their new 180-gallon home. All right, so let's go check out and see what we did.
All right, guys, so this is the start of the process. This is the pond that you know that I had my aquarium in. I used it to start the process of catching the Africans out. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. Drain the tank water into the pond, so that way there wasn't going to be a significant difference in temperature or pH or anything like that. Even though they were going to only be in there a short time, I ended up just utilizing that to hold these fish. And as you can see, I drained the water almost completely out. I left about 4 or 5 inches of water total in this 125. That really limits what the fish can do and where they can go, which makes it considerably easier to catch these fish. And then of course the normal processes of starting to pull the heaters out. Make sure that when you drain the water, guys, when you do your heaters, that you've unplugged those. Keep those things, and this goes for water changes as well. You always want to keep them submerged or get them unplugged, because I've been known to do it from time to time, and it makes a real mess when you leave a heater plugged in when you're doing a water change and it's exposed to the air. It melts the plastic, does all kinds of crazy stuff, and and I have had them break or crack from the heat. Next step was for us to turn around and break out some of the, or not break out, but remove some of the substrate, make the tank lighter. As you can tell here, by the way, introductions are not necessary, but this is the famous one and only blind fish keeper that is assisting me with this move. This was actually back when I redid the fish room, which was step one of the 180 process as well. So I wanted to shift this tank and get it centered up in the room along the back wall. As you'll see here in a little bit, once we get it positioned, you will see some light reflecting through the back of the tank. This tank was painted black and was up against a darker wall, and so really I never noticed that this didn't get covered really well. Again, I painted this tank while it was in place. As you can look to your right, you might see a couple of spots of black paint on that wall. Here I'm measuring everything out because where I'm standing right under those pictures is going to go one of those 2 racks that you've seen. And again, I don't recommend it, but we only had a small distance to move this tank, so that's why we didn't pull all the substrate out. This would have been significantly lighter and easier by pulling all of the substrate and the getting every bit of water and everything out of there. Those 125s are easily moved by 2 people. I mean, you can see here we still did a pretty decent job, and put my little picture of my summer beagle up there. And one of the things here I'm checking, and this is a little bit of a difficulty, what I have to do for water changes on this tank is because I dump my water through using that pump and hose, I take it outside through that window. So I do have to get up over top my tank just to open up the window each time. It's not too bad right now. At some point, maybe I'll try to find, get a little better pump and get a longer hose, and then I'll just run it through the house and out the front door in the future. So putting my substrate or setting my heaters back in. As you can tell, I have a Python hook on there with a hose that comes straight back to, I have a laundry sink, and that's how I do my water changes each and every day, or every week, excuse me, when I do them. Alright, so what you see me put in there is a piece of false driftwood from Universal Rocks that my good friend Brandon gave me. Actually, we traded. I gave him some underwater gallery caves and a few other things, and a nice big piece of driftwood. And so here we are out at the 120. This is where we're going to move the Africans to temporarily while I wait on getting the 180 set up. That's my good friend James from Community Aquatics there with Brandon that's helping me get all this substrate out. Again, that's at a sand bottom. Now you see the door broken there. That did not happen during the move. That was previous. It's since been fixed. And here's my buddy Brandon helping me fill this tank up. Alright guys, I'm here for the decor part of this tank. I'm gonna at my local Pebble Junction is the name of this place. It's here in Sanford, Florida. Guys, if you're local, come check them out, man. They have a ton of stuff to look at, to pick at, from landscaping and the whole 9 yards. But let's go take a look and see what we can find for the tank. Alright guys, as you can see, they have a ton of stuff. This is a massive place. I mean, just look at all of the stuff that they have. So we're gonna just stroll around. Those are some pretty rocks there, bit big for what I need. But I do have one of them in my yard. Just look at this stuff, massive pieces of field stone. Got some great flagstone. May have to look at some of this flagstone down the road to build. Thinking I've got another project in mind. But you can see how much stuff they have here. It's pretty cool. Got some they call this Mariah Mini Brick Ledge. Just love the colors in a lot of this stuff. Just, I mean, this is like a stone lover's paradise for sure out here. This is just absolutely crazy. Some mountain cabin is what they're calling this. This is pretty sharp looking stuff. I mean, here's some really nice looking round river rock with some good colors. Love those reds in there. That might be an option. Prices are reasonable too. If you look at it there, for this stuff, it's $1.08 a pound. I know a lot of times when you're in an aquarium store, it's $4 or $5 a pound for this stuff. So guys, I highly recommend that if you can find a place like this near you, this is where you need to go to get your rocks. Again guys, man, I mean, there's another perspective of just what they have out here. It's absolutely crazy, the size of this place and the rocks that they have. It's just absolutely amazing. You can see all the way across. I mean, I cannot even imagine how many rocks are in this place. But man, so well organized, so nice. And man, if you can't find a rock here, I don't know what to tell you. This is definitely, again, like I said, rock lover's paradise. All right guys, so the next step for me was to go ahead and get this Velamax set up. As you can see, first step before you want to put Velamax on is you want to make sure the glass surface is extremely clean. For me, I used Fritz aquarium glass cleaner, which is very safe for fish and for the tank itself. Making sure everything is very clear. Here I am spraying some water on and getting ready to put the Velamax on. As you can see, this was a two-person job, so this required the assistance of my lovely wife, Janice, who helped me get this thing on there. And being that it's so large, I mean, you have to do this on every tank, but the larger they are, the more air bubbles and stuff you have to consistently deal with. But again, spraying the back of the tank with the water, and you see me here working with a, basically it's a putty knife, but it's plastic putty knife. Another thing that we found out that works good is your plastic spatulas that you might use for cooking if you don't have a squeegee. And so you want to work all those air bubbles out. You're also removing excess water that was sprayed on the glass, but that water really helps in making sure that this Velamax kind of sticks to the glass. Again, this is used to black out windows in your home. So great product, love it. If you guys are interested in it, I got it on Amazon. Go check out Ben's Amazon account, support his channel. You buy it through there. You know, they're, like I said, my wife helping me remove these air bubbles. This was probably about a 30-minute process, 25-minute process to get this done. Once we got it mostly done, as you can see, the wife's walking around, and she's just checking and seeing where the air bubbles are, and we end up directing each other to help finally remove all of the air bubbles. All right, so the next step for me was these glass cage aquarium stands. They come with solid back. These things are well built, and I'll do a review on this tank and the stand later. But being that it's got a solid back, I got to cut some holes in the back. You can see me measuring things up to be able to put aquarium hoses, or filter hoses, excuse me, through, along with some cords, you know, to bring power inside of that cabinet. So, you know, drew the lines. Now for me, I put two 6x6 openings in the back of this cabinet. One basically on the first third of the tank, and then the latter third, leaving the middle available. That way they were kind of in the middle where the doors are, and was able to bring those hoses straight into my filters. I used a drill bit to drill the corners out, and then I used a jigsaw to actually cut the holes in the back of the cabinet. Now this will not affect the structure of the cabinet at all. Alright guys, so just wanted to end this video, or this part of the video, showing you the fish. I mean, after all, that's why you guys come and watch these videos. This is the 120 African tank. As you can tell, it's got the nice sandy white bottom. This was their temporary home, but as you can see, those fish are getting pretty large. The Insignis is about almost 10 inches. The trout is probably pushing a foot, as well as the Starry Night. And then this is the South American tank, which when we see this the next time, this will look completely different, as the substrate in this will be changing. I have gone and bought some pool filter sand, and probably mix a little bit of the sand that was in the African tank in there as well, to get some of that beneficial bacteria. And then I'm going to rescape it a little bit with the rocks, and so when we come back in the next video, you'll get to see what it all looks like. All right guys, so that gives you some sort of an idea of what I did to kind of get things prepped up. It's not always the fun work, in the sense of you know, learning stuff and everything, or seeing the excitingness of getting a new fish. But it is the work that has to go in when you're doing this kind of transition. And just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a flavor of that. And so hopefully you'll find this video has been helpful. Again, next week, I can't wait. The tank behind me, it's going to look different because I'm going to be pulling this substrate out of this tank. And this is the substrate I'm going to use for my 180, so this one's going to get some new substrate. And we'll talk about, through that video, how I did it, and some of the things that I did so that I didn't lose my bacteria load, or didn't dramatically affect it. But with that being said, guys, if you're interested, you want to get some merchandise like this t-shirt, Jerry's Fish Room t-shirt, mugs,
Links in the description. You can go check out Teespring through that link and get some merch. Also, just again, recommendation. Last week's video was about my unboxing of some fish that I got. If you're looking for some good fish, reasonable shipping prices, especially here in the state of Florida, go check out Consolidated Fish Farms. They are a channel sponsor for me. Be sure to use Jerry's Fish Room at the time of checkout. Again, highly recommend go check out the website through the link. But if there's something there you're not seeing, go ahead and reach out to them because there's many fish oftentimes that they do not have on the website that are up for sale. So go check out Consolidated Fish Farms. And guys, thank you so much for supporting this channel by watching these videos. Remember, give it a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Helps YouTube get the news out that there's some good content here. And again, just appreciate every one of you guys. And so until next week, you know what's coming next. That's right. Keep loving the fish, guys.